I slept next to her every night while she was cheating right under my nose. Last night was supposed to be just another lazy Friday. We'd ordered takeout, cracked open a bottle of wine, and settled into our usual routine. She was on the couch watching one of those Netflix crime shows, and I was flipping between the football match and messing with some old tools in the garage. She'd gone through 2 glasses, maybe 3. Nothing out of the ordinary. By midnight, she was knocked out cold on the couch. The TV was still murmuring in the background, and her smartwatch was glowing softly from her wrist. I leaned down to lift her gently when the screen lit up again. I wasn't trying to snoop, but the message flashed right in my face, just enough to steal my breath for a second. Haha, I can't do that. My man would knock 7 shades of hell out of me. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. I just froze. I stood there in silence, watching the message fade. Her face didn't twitch. She was asleep, curled up peacefully like nothing in the world was wrong. But in my chest, something cracked. The next morning, I didn't say a word. I made her coffee, I asked about her plans for the day, I smiled when I needed to. But inside, I was spiraling. My thoughts were looping and catching on fire. I couldn't unsee it. Later that afternoon, I saw her phone left out on the kitchen counter. She was in the shower. The screen was still unlocked. I didn't think, I picked it up. And yeah, I opened the messages. God, I wish I hadn't. It wasn't one message. It wasn't one guy. It was a whole goddamn timeline. Months of texts, some flirty, some dirty, some sickeningly emotional. Stuff like, I can't wait to see you again, and he has no idea, LOL. There were photos. Selfies in the car. Ones taken in our kitchen. Voice notes with giggles that used to be just for me. And then the name hit me. It was someone I knew. A guy I used to play 5-side with. Not a best friend, but someone I'd had beers with. Someone who shook my hand. Someone who knew me. I didn't sleep that night. I just stared at the ceiling, numb and buzzing and broken. For the next few days, I kept quiet. I needed to know the whole story. How far this went. What else she had hidden. I watched her laugh, cook, fold laundry, all while holding this secret inside me like a burning coal in my chest. When I finally confronted her, I expected at least a little regret. Maybe some denial, maybe some kind of apology. But no, she just looked at me and said, I didn't think you'd find out. That sentence, that was the moment I knew it was over. Not because she cheated, but because she didn't care. Not about the betrayal, not about the pain, not about what it did to me. She only cared about getting away with it. I asked how long it had been going on. She shrugged. Off and on for about a year. A fucking year. Everything I'd been building, everything I thought was real, it wasn't just cracked, it was pulverized. After that, I moved into the guest room. I couldn't even stand being near her. We coexisted like 2 ghosts under the same roof, passing each other in the hallway with silent hostility. She tried to rationalize it. Said things like, you've been distant, or I just needed to feel something. Bullshit. She had choices. She had chances. And she threw them out the window because she didn't want to do the work. She wanted shortcuts. I started opening up to people. Told my brother. Told my best friend. When mutual friends started noticing the distance between us, I didn't lie. I didn't sugarcoat it. I said exactly what happened. Most of them were shocked. Some weren't. One even told me honestly, I always felt something was off about her. You were carrying the relationship. That one hit me harder than I expected. The crazy part? Even after everything, she didn't move out. She stayed in the house like nothing happened. Said she didn't have anywhere else to go. So I left. I packed a duffel bag and went to stay with my brother. He gave me a beer and said, take your time. Stay as long as you need. That night, I slept for the first time in a week. The divorce process started 2 weeks later. It was messy. She tried to guilt me, tried to manipulate the narrative. Told people I abandoned her. That I overreacted. I didn't even defend myself. I didn't need to. The truth had already done its job. Now, months later, I live alone in a small apartment. It's quiet. Sometimes too quiet. But it's peaceful. It's mine. And I'm healing. Therapy's helped. So has time. I've started running again, joined a local hiking group. Met some new people. Nothing romantic yet. I'm not rushing. But I've learned one thing the hard way: betrayal doesn't start with cheating. It starts the moment someone stops caring whether you get hurt. So yeah, I was blindsided. Humiliated. Broken. But I got back up. And I'm not sorry for walking away. Not anymore. I wish I could say there was a moment where everything clicked. That I stood up tall, got my dignity back, and felt whole again in one clean scene. But the truth is, healing is messy. Some days I felt free. Other days I felt like I was unraveling all over again. Little things would trigger me. A certain ringtone. The sound of a wine bottle popping open. Even dumb stuff like the smell of her shampoo in the grocery store aisle. I kept wondering if I missed something. If there were signs earlier. If I was blind or just too trusting. But I've learned it doesn't matter. When someone wants to lie, they will. When someone wants to cheat, they will. No amount of love, effort, or loyalty can stop a person who's already decided you're disposable. Eventually, I got to a place where I stopped asking why. I stopped trying to make sense of someone else's cruelty. She reached out a few months after the papers were signed. Sent a casual message on a random Thursday night. Hey, just thinking about you. Hope you're okay. I stared at that message for a full 5 minutes before deleting it. There was nothing left to say. I've started rebuilding from the ground up. My apartment is small, but it's clean. It's quiet. No more walking on eggshells. No more wondering where she is or who she's texting. No more pretending. And that, honestly, is the best part. Freedom doesn't always come wrapped in fireworks. Sometimes it's just silence. Peace. Breathing without tension in your chest. I've even started journaling again. Something I hadn't done since college. Writing down my thoughts helps. Makes it feel like I'm not just surviving, I'm processing, learning, getting stronger. People ask me if I'll ever trust again. If I want to get back out there. And the truth is, yeah, I do. Eventually. But it's going to be different next time. Next time, I'll be slower, smarter, less willing to ignore red flags just because I love someone. Next time, I'll protect my peace more than I protect anyone's feelings. And if I ever start to feel that pit in my stomach again, that quiet nagging sense that something's wrong, I won't gaslight myself into ignoring it, because I've learned. Love shouldn't feel like suspicion. It shouldn't require detective work. If you're in a relationship and you're constantly questioning reality, you're not in love, you're in limbo. I'm not angry anymore. Not even bitter. She showed me exactly who she was. I just finally believed her. And I walked away. I don't think people talk enough about what it really feels like to lose someone who's still alive. There's a unique kind of grief that comes from watching the person you love sit across from you at dinner, smile, laugh, while you silently mourn the version of them you thought you had. The version that didn't exist. It's like emotional whiplash. One day you're in love, the next you're in survival mode. It doesn't matter how long you were together. Time doesn't measure pain, betrayal does. I used to replay the good memories over and over, wondering which ones were real and which ones were just a performance. I'd look at old pictures and feel like a fool smiling beside someone who was already halfway out the door. But eventually, I stopped punishing myself for trusting her. Trusting isn't the mistake. Betraying it is. She made the choice to lie. She made the choice to cheat. I made the choice to believe in us. And you know what? I'll never be ashamed of that. If anything, I'm proud I was the kind of man who loved deeply, who gave my best even when I didn't get it back. Because at the end of it all, she lost someone loyal. I lost someone who never deserved that loyalty in the first place. And that's not my loss anymore. Yeah? I'm building something better. I've started focusing on myself in a way I never had before. Gym, therapy, hiking. I've reconnected with old friends. Started sleeping through the night again without second-guessing everything. Hell, I even got a dog. He's a rescue. Kinda scruffy. Definitely stubborn. But he's loyal. And weirdly enough, he taught me something important. The right kind of love doesn't make you anxious. It makes you feel safe. I still don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing for sure. I'll never settle for someone who makes me feel like I have to compete for their attention. I'll never accept love that feels like a guessing game, because I've already survived the worst kind of heartbreak. The one that walks beside you every day while pretending nothing's wrong. So if you're ever in that place, half in, half out, wondering if you're crazy for noticing the distance, the coldness, the lies, you're not crazy. Your gut knows. Listen to it. And when you finally walk away, don't look back. Not because it didn't matter, but because you finally realized that you do. I used to think forgiveness meant letting someone back into your life. That it meant giving them another shot, sitting down to talk it out, hearing all the half-baked reasons and watered-down apologies. But now I understand forgiveness is for me, not them. It's the quiet decision to stop bleeding for someone who didn't even notice they'd cut you. I don't hate her. I don't spend my days wishing her misery. That would still give her power. No, what I feel now is something way more dangerous to people like her. I feel nothing. She's a closed chapter. Not a scar, not a tragedy, just a lesson. A brutal one, sure, but a necessary one. And the man I am now? He's not the same one who ignored red flags. He's not the guy who made excuses, who minimized his own needs just to keep someone else comfortable. That guy's gone. The new me? He's got standards, boundaries, a peace he won't trade for anyone. No matter how pretty, how persuasive, or how familiar they feel. I know someday I'll fall in love again. But it won't be the same kind of naive, soft-edged love I gave her. It'll be sharp, clear-eyed, built on truth, not hope. And if someone ever hands me a mask and asks me to pretend everything's fine, I'll hand it right back and walk. Because once you've lived through deception that deep, you don't crave comfort anymore. You crave honesty, even when it hurts. So yeah, she lied. She cheated. She blew up the life we built. And I still won, because I walked away with my self-respect. She'll have to live with her choices. I get to live with mine.
If you thought that was wild, trust me, we've barely scratched the surface. We drop new jaw-dropping stories from the depths of Reddit every single week. So if betrayal, chaos, and karma are your thing, hit that subscribe button and stick around. This is Reddit and Regret, where every post is a plot twist,